So one of the things that comes up quite often at my workshop, especially guys just starting out, is like, how do I find my style? And the answer to that is quite simple. You don't. It finds you. But style, in my experience, is a sum total of all of your experience of life so far. And a huge, huge part of that is the content that you consume. So like I said, I think style is a consequence of the content that you're consuming, the stuff you're watching, the movies you're watching, the music you're listening to, the books you're reading. If you're spending a whole bunch of time looking at wedding photography on Instagram or Facebook, guess what's going to inform your work? Great movie, by the way. Breathless, a bout de soup. I love the original French version by Jean-Luc Godard, but they did it like a remake. It's very rare that the remake's as good as the original, but the way they did the remake with Richard Gere, of all people, set it in California. It was like the prototype Pulp Fiction, really. Such a good movie, though. It's basically full of pop culture, music, comic book references, and just referencing other films. It's just so cool, and it has these really cool kind of fake backdrops when he's driving through LA, that kind of thing. It's just really cool. You should check it out. Well, back to business though. What was I talking about? We're talking about, oh listen, there's nothing wrong with looking at wedding photography. I've shot a lot of weddings. For me, I just don't want my wedding photography or my portrait or street photography being overly informed by that kind of a fast food photography type deal. It's like styles a lot. A friend of mine, Pat, I remember him saying that. It's quite controversial actually what he said. He said that I think photography has a lot to do with taste, and unfortunately some people just don't have any. There's something to be said for that, I think, maybe. I don't know. I never said that, okay? It was Pat that said that. Like, style is informed by the content that you consume, like I said earlier. So if your diet of film is popcorn movies, Armageddon, Bridesmaids, then that's gonna, good film, then that's gonna inform your creative output. It just stands to reason. Like, I love a popcorn movie as much as the next person. Like, I love a Terminator film. I love a bit of Stallone now and again. Showing the age now. And I've watched a hell of a lot of good film, good cinematography, and I've no doubt that that informs my work. For me, it was always something I was attracted to. It was never an effort for me to do that. I just love good quality cinema. But it's everything that you consume. It's the books you read. Like I said, it's the music. If your diet's predominantly X Factor music, chart music, well, nothing wrong with it. Okay, we all love a bit of One Direction. But it's like we need to mix it up a bit. Should we go somewhere else? I promise I'll stay here now, okay? Another thing is, I rarely tend to look at photography online. When I do, you just get into that kind of almost like fast-paced, chasing your tail, searching for the holy grail of photographs type way of looking. Have you noticed? It's like, if I sit down with a book, something that someone put their life into, their heart and soul, I don't know, it just has this substance. It's almost like I create the time and space to do that. And when I do that, I slow down, ponder more, and I think what I am looking at, whether it's in a book or in a gallery where I'm taking my time, I just think that being inspired by that goes in on a different level. It's like, I would hazard a guess that every movie I've ever watched, book that I've read, magazine I've read, everything that I'm consuming is informing my creative output. It's like I don't have a choice in that. What I do have a choice in though, from this vantage point now, is having an awareness of what I'm looking at, listening to, reading. Like, we can't change the past, that's gone. And like, we do have a choice, we have an awareness, right? We can change our diet in effect. Also, what I see quite often is people get inspired by somebody else's work and then they try and copy that person's style. When we do that, we're missing a crucial ingredient. Yeah, we can never replicate. And that is the person who's taking that photographs, experience of life, everything that they've watched, seen, listened to. We can't experience that. I think a big part of what stands out, the photography and the art that we love and like, is that the guys that are creating it are congruent with that. It's like they're willing to embrace their own experience. They're not trying to move away from it. They're not looking to be overly influenced by other people's work. For sure, we need to take to be inspired, right? For me, what inspiration's about is the flavor, the feeling of being inspired. It isn't about replicating what somebody else is doing. Like, I look at photography all the time. I never copy it. It's like, so if I look at, like I said, if I'm wading through this book and I have one of those wow moments, it's the feeling of that I'll take with me. I'm not looking to replicate the image. There's like this huge ocean of experience underneath that photograph they've taken. And we can't replicate their experience. So that's when you see stuff that's been replicated. Have you ever seen, like, I don't know, a Francis Ford Coppola film, but then you see someone who tries to copy that. There's just something missing. Usually it's very obvious that there's something missing. We probably can't quite put our finger on what it is, because like the scenes are set up the same way, the dialogue might be familiar, but there's just something missing. We can't experience that person's life. We just see the postcard. That's why it's important to be yourself, guys. Trust in ourselves, and that can be quite scary, like, because then it's very personal. If we copy somebody else's stuff, then it's kind of like, it's almost like not our thing, or we can put that out. But if it's like our own thing, it's really personal to us, it could be quite, that's a very vulnerable place, right? And the thought of somebody not liking it can sting, right? It takes practice. And then within time, you become confident, almost like a contradiction in terms, you become confident with being yourself. But style, guys, just like, stop looking for it. Have a little check-in from time to time, see where you are now relative to a year ago, 6 months ago. But just kind of bring a little bit of awareness into like what you're watching, music you're listening to. Absolutely, listen, there's nothing wrong at all with having preference. I'm not for a second suggesting that we stop consuming the things that we love. I'm just saying there's something to be said for like mixing it up now and again. Perhaps introducing a few new foods from time to time into our diet. Guys, if you like the video, please hit the like button. Really does support me, and subscribe to the channel. And let me know, guys, was this useful in any way? I'm really interested in getting some comments and perhaps starting up a few little conversations on here. Brilliant. Cheers, guys. See you in the next video.